I'm here at the Hyundai Seoul department store on the 16th to visit the Choirock brand pop-up store, which is right over here next to the Five Guys. Transformers and Hello Carbot right next to each other in an official capacity. Imagine that. Also, looks like they kind of mix up them. No, actually, they didn't have enough space. And also, Play-Doh. Oh, I just missed the last live competition event at 6. Oh, they even have an original Sonicon style Choirock brand Sonicon toys and stationery logo, brightly illuminated with other lights. It is faithfully fitting that the distribution of Transformers in Korea has come full circle back to Sonicon. Since Beast Wars 2nd in 1998 to 2006, and now they finally come back in 2024, although they're direct imports, no unique localizing. Over on the left side, we have a display of the new turning Mecard God toys. Rapid Fire is a pretty big car, while we have these other classic Mecardables and their cards, and a nice display of the new promo image. Down here is Star Guardian, Pentastorm X Life Mode. A closer look at Drago, Taro, Thanatos, Evan, Mirene, and the cards. You know, their robot modes are significantly redesigned for Thanatos and Evan at least, but somehow they're still recognizable. A giant display of Pentastorm X Life Mode and the new Punch Master and Hope with some loose screws. And the All-Stars Autosonic Ultimax, Giant Loader, Ugabog, Jetren for some reason, Fron, Gold Rex, True, and a first look at the Age of the Prime toys. That is not being sold or promoted here, but at least that's a nice pose of Prima with his descendant. They're gonna bring a partial selection of the new Studio Series and Age of the Prime toys. I guess they had this in storage when this movie was out, and Choirock brought it out again for a display opportunity for this very old movie. And this one toy is the one thing that's making this giant thing relevant. And here's 86 Optimus Prime, also not being sold here. Missed opportunity, and the Kara Optimus Primal and the Starscream and Wasp Speeder Beast Wars Versus set. I don't think that was sold in Hasbro Korea, maybe some other stores. Now onto the Hello Carbot toys being sold here. They're mostly all-stars. Well, there's some older stock like the Hawk-Axe, King Isaacs, and the Trio. These are like standard retail prices. Here's the new Sky SWAT in the clear and chrome silver with the SWAT there. The shell-forming Electrum and the Victor. Both Gold Rexes, Road Saver, Guardian, Pentastorm X. The Mega Akan. The new Dandy Ambulance. With some nice painted blues and clear blues. Hyper Billion. Punch Master and Hope and the Star Guardian box set. And Iant Inuke, Super Patron, Safari Saver, and most of the minis at a discounted price of nearly 6,000 won. With the Season 12 display, so yeah, these are constantly reissued, they must be popular. More trios in the back, and King Guys, and the Chrome Kung Eggs, the whole lot of them, and the original Turning Mecard remasters. Yeah, the clear inside, solid outsides. I always keep emphasizing that. Yeah, good assortment of most of them. Just want to check the date. That's 2024. That's correct. The originals. At a discounted price of 12,000. And also turning Mecard W on the bottom there. And right next to these Mecardables and Jumbo Mecardables are the Transformers. Oh wow, discounted from its full markup price to its regular leader class direct USD conversion retail price. New 86 Bumblebees. This is discounted from 50. These tiny deluxes cost more than this hatchet and the deluxe wheeljack. And more than the Voyagers. These Legacy Wave 5 Voyagers and also these Wave 2 Voyagers. And the Origins wheeljack. And there's the Rise of the Beast, Optimus and wheeljack. And the Bicepless Shockwave. Oh, there's Galaxy Shuttle. And the first revealed in Korea Thundertron set, the only Star Raider imported here. They even have these Cliff Jumper Bullying 4-packs, although the Spider is the most interesting thing to casuals. I don't think I've seen these sold online here, and I just shipped mine over from Target. Oh, also these leftover Rise of the Beast giant bird bumblebees. If only they had the Optimuses, that goes for Target, and the MPG train bots from 4 to 7. Yeah, these are pretty expensive model cars, but imagine, you really have to be in the know to complete this combiner on the back, this MPG Raiden. Could have gotten the first two, personally, but you know, these are pretty expensive model train cars. And the Autobots United 5-pack. I ordered this when it first came out, but this is another good chance for folks to get this. Like, one guy who bought up like 14 of them, nearly the entire stock. Somehow they allowed that. Must be a reseller. One Masterpiece Rhinox, and Magmatron. And more Breeze. I don't know why Studio Series gets marked up more than Legacy here. And the Center Island has the Crystal Gold Aces. Only being sold here offline, and only 200 of them are made. So this is a fresh restock that they announced on the 16th. But then they announced the restock was postponed to a later date, which was just several hours later in the same day, so that threw off my schedule. I came a little later than I expected. I was expecting I had to come tomorrow. But it doesn't matter much because there's still plenty of stock right here. Just about 64 max on the aisles. But I expect most all of these to sell out on the weekend. And on the top are displays of these new little Carbots of King Isaacs, Jet Cruiser, Hyper Billion, Classic Fron Police, Pentastorm X. Yeah, these are like first being sold here at this pop-up store first, and then Power Cruiser. Oh no, Ace has fallen. He has tiny little soft feet, Hawk Axe, Mighty Guard Axe, K-Cops, Black, and then Unicruiser. Interesting assortment of 12. Okay, I can take a look at one of these boxes. Nice shiny clear and chrome and gold. Side and the back. Nice premium red and black background. Crystal Gold Ace. It's a solid one. Limited edition. Its production date is March of 2025, so 1 month before. To the left is a whole aisle of little Carbots with a make-your-own message app. But first, let's look at these little guys. There's a musical promo. And there's the K-Cops Special Forces. Oh no, his rotors are bending. Those soft rotors. The whole shelves of them. Unicruiser. Like the first being sold here, Hawk Axe. Mighty Guard Axe with more bent rotors. Jet Cruiser. Pentastorm Axe. Hyper Billion. Full combiners and single bots together. Like Fron Police, one of them's escaped. King Isaacs. Ace Rescue Axe also upside down, and then Power Cruiser. So, interesting assortment of characters they had over all the years. Whole 11. Oh, they said 11, but there's 12 of them. Must be a typo. 15 each. That's a little pricey. They're also selling snacks, these calcium jelly. I keep seeing these TV commercials all the time. Yeah, I just typed in my name here, and I'm gonna see if the Carbots will read my name in a nice AI-generated fluency. It's gonna take up to 1 minute and 30 for this to render. Korean language is well structured for AI auto reading. This was a standard Android keyboard, and there's a Galvatron being sold here, so I'm gonna see if these Korean Carbots can speak English. What was that? That wasn't Konglish. That sounded Japanese, so I guess that's the language bank they had instead of English. Anyway, that was a fail. As for the other Hasbro products, there's a Play-Doh section, a whole Play-Doh section. You wanna bet Play-Doh is carrying much of Hasbro's slow profits these days? Including some Marvels, make your own Marvel things. Then right over here are the games, the Hasbro games, like all the Hasbro board games, and Nerf. Nerf Elite Strike, Pinpoint. A lion themed one. Reminds me of the 90s. Clue, Jenga Maker, Game of Life, Harry Potter Monopoly. Yeah, all these modern games, and the Harry Potter Monopoly on display. And this looks like a Jenga challenge area. So during the off hours, I'm gonna use the one dart that was left in this Nerf gun to target practice a bit. And now for my on-site review of these new Turning Mecard God toys. Yeah, this Evan is looking much like his very first iteration. In fact, the first episode had him exactly his original form for some reason, and then just upgraded into this. And there's Thanatos, who's also looking very similar. Noticeably, it looks like their windscreens are just much taller and higher. That's what makes them slightly different from the original Mecardables. And here are these metal Hardcats metal Mecard rings. Yeah, that's just Mecard on one side, and then made in China on the other side, copyright Choirock. Oh, and then these colored rings have God on them. Let's see how this works. Oh, these also come in red. I guess these are the corresponding red and blue coded Mecard symbols. Yeah, so let's see. Just flick this in and auto transform. Yeah, so that is a very wide looking Evan face and a very different design from his usual Evan faces in the show. And he has giant car shoulders, but his arms are recognizable at least, and oh, that easily collapses. Just press that button and he is knocked down. Yeah, just slot that in, and then there's a little black figure there, and if you push that, and then single-handedly shooting these targets, that didn't go perfectly straight. It's a bit hard to reload with single hand, but yeah, I'm doing it with both hands now to see if this works. Again, oop. It hit a 200. Now to set up Thanatos, gonna flip that ring. Oops. Okay, try again. How he auto pops up. That is a different looking Thanatos face, but his shoulder crosses and his arms are recognizable as Thanatos. A big old red trigger there, and just that's hard to slide off. I'm gonna slot that in. Nice little push. Oh, it's a bit unintuitive because I want to keep hitting the back panel there instead of the red trigger. So yeah, you really have to get your fingers in there, your fat fingers in there. Well, I mean, it might be fine for tiny fingers. Oh, nice shot. Still not perfectly straight from what I see. Okay, that was a bit more straight. Now on to the knockdown. Miss. Okay, let's reload him. Yeah, so these feel like beat 'em on, but they're not easy to reload as beat 'em on because most of them have balls, while you have to have like thin rings that you have to load one at a time. So miss again. Yeah, it's not so much of a rapid fire play. You just have to really fiddle it to keep shooting and playing, unlike beat 'em on. Okay, let's get him closer. Knockdown. So just a little simple little button trigger that spring loads him off. Now, it's Thanatos' revenge. I'm pretty sure that hit the trigger, or just very off to the side. You have to really hit it smack in the center. I guess it went flying there, so this might be a bit hard to do at a distance, especially with multi-shot attempts. Yeah, maybe this is just like a one-time thing. Just have to be really precise. Knockdown. Almost forgot to go over the important transformation step. Transform these back. Yeah, it's a slightly different way for Evan's arm to transform from the original toy, but yeah, it's very nice and simple. As for Thanatos, get over here, Thanatos. Oh yeah, you're gonna just run them over, of course. Like, that's the usual way of playing with Mecardables. And now to figure out how to do that, just fold that over. Yeah, that's a nice back panel there. I wonder. Yeah, you can leave a ring in there to leave them transform so you can have them ready for launch. But can you actually launch it from the car? No, of course not. You can't force spring that open. You would break it. So yeah, that's the transformation. And then just launch that again. Then figure out how to finagle that again. Now, if they don't mind me looking at this Mecard ball case with some of the other new toys. Yeah, just a simple canopy and hood flip over technique. Yeah, those are some very robot baddie looking ears and some nice red painted insides. Yeah, load that in. Just gotta spring it back. Fold that in. Just got, you know, these silly things, but it locks in pretty well. As for the other three mainstays, you know, these three were originally clone builds, as in their external car models were all the same, but they really did differentiate these. Like the headlight designs and the bumper designs are quite different. Like Phoenix has a nice smile, Mirenei has the biggest front grille, and then Teros has the biggest headlights. They really did make them slightly different. Tero setup. Yep, another same hood over technique with a different arm transformation. The spring-loaded arms are more forward, and he has actual claws on the end instead of just like big old wings. That's a bit of a crushed, slightly squished dragon head. And of course, these all shoot. Now just fold that over. Now on to Mirenei, whose only claim to fame is the bootleg that's everywhere. This new version of her looks awfully flat. That's a pretty flat and blocky unicorn. But with more diagonally shaped wings. Like bug-like wings. And a pretty short horn. And a very big bumper. Now let's load her up. Disc magic, ring magic. Yeah, I think it transforms similar to the others. Okay, so that kid's gonna play with Phoenix, and I'm gonna come back until he finishes playing with Phoenix. The rings also come in green and purple. You're gonna flick it there again, and there's Phoenix again. They all have the same canopy and hood flip transformation. Yeah, the bird knocks over backwards. Funny that, and also the wings spring backwards, so you can do that kind of flapping motion. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try shooting to transform. Let me just try that. Okay, that's a bit hard since it's gonna be much more forward and gonna hit the bumper, so I think I had to get some distance if I wanted to slide under there. Some distance. Yay, it works. And now to transform back to Birdie. Yeah, just double fold wings and the little winglets and then fold over. Yeah, the fold over click is pretty satisfying if you can actually click it together. This one's a bit harder. Maybe I'm not doing it right. Yeah, maybe a bit more springy parts in that direction. Yeah, so there we have a little Phoenix again. And the titular cards in Mecard are here. Yeah, so there's the dual language. Tero front drop kick. I guess his main power is in blue. I don't think the Mecard symbols are actually randomly color-coded. Yeah, they both have the same black ones. They all have the same black, so I think the color is in the rings. Spoilers, there's also going to be a Sphinx, and therefore a Griffynx. Magma Crash. And then Mirenei with Air Burster. Tero's Freezing Fangs. Bat's Magical Light. And Sky Mine. Blood Suction. Desert Illusion. And Thanatos' Volt Spike. Yeah, I don't know how many kids play with the card game system, but yeah, there's also that competition edge, and there's one side that's a bit magnetic, I think. Not with the rings themselves, but with the card, the original Mecardable. Yep, that clicks, so if you just want to play with these Mecardables traditionally to transform them. Oh yeah, only one side this time. Yeah, all the way over there on the back, so two ways of play. There weren't any of these new toys being sold here, but wouldn't you know it, the day after I visited, they announced they were selling the first three here. With free Mecard Ball. I'm going full coverage, so here's some Sanrio merchandise that apparently Choirock also licensed partnered with. And Pokemon, these little keyrings. Golf bags. Sanrio golf bags. Never mind the toys, these are really attractive golf bags. Some watches. Thank you. And Gaspar and Lisa, like these French characters. Nice dolls and merchandise. Just some very wholesome characters. Also a photo booth. And with every large purchase is one free try at this crane game. Gaspar and Lisa dolls, some Mentos, but I'm just gonna go for a Hello Carbot mini, even though I have all of them. Okay, they're on the edge, so I don't think I exactly get the one on the edge. That's right in the middle of the boss. That's not gonna get anything. Oh well, you know the probability of these things. Okay, now for my haul, besides that ace, and a nice multi-brand Choirock tote bag. Choirock and Hasbro together. All those brands there. Okay, so I bought 2 of the 12 new little Carbots. The 2 classic, formerly Hyundai Carbots. Yeah, so they are the premier marketplace selling these little merchandise things. And I guess they will be at General Choirock Retail or General Retail and later. A couple months later, I guess. Oh, I'm ripping it. Yeah, so it's just one folded blister. For some reason, this ace has 2. Just stuff it up, but no ties. I guess they didn't want to damage that soft PVC plastic. Very soft. But as a consequence, some of them were loose out of the box, so probably need some paper strings there at least, just the hard metal strings. The proportions are not quite right, and they fall over easily because it's soft, bendy. And they're nice, super deformed likenesses. I guess these are all individual bits of PVC plastic all glued together, so that's an interesting assembly process. Nice and soft. As such, risks to being damaged if they're just thrown in a toy box. So, would the collector just display them like Funkos? Are these tiny little Funkos smaller than Funkos? Or you just glue them onto a stand and have them permanently do the Michael Jackson. He can do it for several seconds. And they can bend a bit, that's about it. They don't even have any articulation. That's a bit pricey for 15 each. Just for some pretty small static figurines. Oh, he even has a screw hole. So I guess you get a nice little display stand, but the main point of this is you get these little coupons with a scratch QR code to make a custom red Korean message from each of these corresponding Carbots, but only once. Yeah, so this is a one-time use thing, which is unfortunate in case you want to experiment with it. Yeah, so choose your message wisely. Maybe, I guess that some of the cost of this pretty pricey thing goes into here. Yeah, so I don't think I've seen any non-transforming merchandise of the Carbots here in Korea this often. So let me know if they actually decide to make something that could correspond to the truckloads of Chinese Carbot merchandise they have over there. They should really bring those blokies over here. The one Transformer I'm excited to get from there is the Legacy United Wheeljack, Armada Wheeljack, because I don't have that in my nearly complete United collection yet. So yeah, oddly enough, this is the only deluxe there. No breakdowns or bumblebees or cosmoses. There was a Cosmos tag, but that all left the planet. I just slightly overpaid for the first Velocitron version. Legacy United Wave 1 was brought over here, but during the change in management from Hasbro Korea to Choirock, we missed out on Waves 2 and 3. Also decided it was a good time as any to get a mostly discounted Mecard Remaster Neo. One of the 3 big jumbo Mecardimals. Ooh, that's Isabel. In a box packaging instead of the original blister packaging, and remember the remaster is clear inside, solid outside. Okay, here's Neo out of the box. Just a big old humanoid truck with a whole bunch of kibble. Not much posability, but he can hold the sword. You can make him do a side swinging action, so that's fun, besides just pop-up transforming. Imagine paying 20 for this. I mean, it was slightly better than 30, but these are premium auto-transforming toys. It does not work with other swords, despite me thinking this is 3mm. Okay, for transformation, it should be pretty simple enough. Fold arms forward. Panel down. How do I... Okay, might be the trickiest part. Hey, but since this is solid plastic, I don't have to worry so much about this breaking. Latch these in first. Okay, I just have to reference the instructions. Oh, it just folds up in his hand there. I must say, I think I like the solid look of the remastered Mecards more than the clear look. Because it probably makes more sense, and also much more structurally sound than this banged up Neo that I got from a thrift store. The clear plastic may look a bit prettier, but those giant panels, those giant clear panels are very susceptible to breaking either half off or completely off. Auto transform, so yes, you can see the main difference. Clear insides, solid outsides, while the originals were solid insides and clear outsides. So maybe the best would be swapping the parts so that they're all solid or all clear. Is someone that can actually dare to remove all those pins. Oh yeah, which faction is he? Okay, Blue Lander. Yeah, of course he comes with the 3 cards. Neo's gigantic boomerang is the only one that's relevant here, while the other ones are just the 2 random ones. Wait a minute. These cards have shrunk! Remastering means also remastering less material? Why? Why did these shrink? And also I think they're on a different point system because that's much more, that's much higher. Already using the American Mecard system, half of it. Yeah, there's gonna be a bit of a discrepancy. These are not gonna be exactly compatible. I don't know if the card size makes any difference. I don't know, maybe smaller means slightly lighter, but that's a bit of a weird change to remaster the card as well, besides, you know, dual language. The 2021 cards were fine, but now the 2024 cards are smaller. This will complement my Yoda, the original solid insides. They're not exactly the same, but they're good enough. So I don't know if X is still readily available. But at least I got his sword from a Lego loose bin. And of course I was qualified to get a free random draw from that little ticket booth, and I won a free Mecardimal. The remastered Mega. The Dragonfly Wasp thing. Yes, clear yellow inside, solid outsides. So that's another small minor addition to my passive original Mecard collection. I could have drawn a Hello Carbot Kun, a Play-Doh, a Gaspar and Lisa merchandise, or a Transformer. I guess would have won another Armada Wheeljack. Because if that's the only smallest one they have, or a Bumblebee. But I'm glad I pulled a Mecard, because, you know, I wouldn't actively go out to get these things. And final freebie is the Hello Carbot Calcium Jellies. Just nice little jelly sticks. Okay, calcium jelly. Comes in peach and shining muscat. There's the official Choirock seal. These temporary pop-up stores happen frequently, but I've never been really interested in them. But they finally did it. They finally made an exclusive product for a pop-up store that was only sold there for me to go there and pick up something exclusive. You know, artificial scarcity works. And it was just also surreal and fascinating for the Transformers fans for Transformers to be sold here. brought under by the same company that dominated Transformers. It seems ever since the War for Cybertron trilogy, it really seems that Transformers has just been relegated to the adult collectors. So I guess that's why Hasbro Korea agreed to let Choirock distribute this and also get some profits, because I guess it was no longer sustainable for just Hasbro Korea alone. Which might be just fine for the Transformer collectors that only care about the legacy stuff, but it's really interesting to see like the audience landscape shift like this. Yeah, it really seems the Transformers brand isn't really so much for little kids anymore. I mean, of course kids would still enjoy them, but they're less generally available. Yeah, so I guess, maybe the idea is like Hello Carbot is like for the little kids Transformers, and then the Transformers are like the big kids Transformers. Hasbro's kids Transformers are so terrible, they were never brought here, so Korean kids are eating good with their still quality Korean toys, and then they can handle much more intricate character-focused Transformers later if they're still into it growing up. And it's also fascinating to see that Choirock is becoming a multi-brand distribution company as well as their own domestic production company. You should know that Sonokong and Choirock are separated entities now. Sonokong has distributed Mattel in the past, but now they have several companies, while Choirock is distributing stuff from Hasbro. Funny how it ended up like this. So thank you for watching through this unique shopping brand experience, and I'll see if any future toy companies pop-up brand stores will have anything to offer that will rival this.